All right, guys, what's going on? Once again, this is the Club of the Man 1993. And while I wait for my next part of my Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets PC gameplay to export, I am actually going to be up here to do something that I don't know why I've never done this before. Especially, I've always been saying I always wanted to find a way to talk more about baseball on this channel as well, since baseball was my first love for sports before wrestling. So I thought, why don't I do this? I don't think I've actually attempted this ballot at all in a few years because, again, I did kind of lose my passion for baseball a little bit. But as I've been trying to work my way back to regain that passion and whatnot, I think that, something I should do that I've never really considered doing before is to go live when I cast my votes for the 2019 Major League Baseball All Star Game. It's going to take place this year at Progressive Field. I believe the date is July the 9th, I think it is. Let me double check. Yeah, I think it's July 9th. Wait, hold on. Let me double check that for a second here. Where was I at? I was saying Juju, whatnot. MLB All Star Game 2019. It is, yes, Tuesday, July 9th, and it will take place at Progressive Field in Cleveland, Ohio, home of the Cleveland Indians. Of course, the Indians really have not been as strong of a team this year. Of course, yes, they traded away some big names last offseason, but keep this in mind also. Some of their players aren't producing as well this year, unfortunately. And the Twins are kicking butt in the American League Central, which of course we'll talk about that in a few weeks when I do like my first half of the season, recap and predictions and whatnot for the second half of the season. But so yeah, we're gonna basically, before I share screen to the ballot, of course, show who I'm gonna vote for and whatnot. Let me just read off as of from my phone. I'm going to read off the results from as of an article I found as of 2 days ago, June 17th. Here's the leaders so far. For the American League, at catcher is Gary Sanchez of the Yankees. Also from the Yankees at first base is Luke Voit. At second base is the Angels' Tommy La Stella. Third base is the Astros' Alex Bregman. Shortstop is Twins' Jorge Polanco. In the outfield, we got George Springer of the Astros, Mike Trout of the Angels, and Astros outfielder Michael Brantley. And the designated hitter voted for so far is JD Martinez. In the National League, leaders so far, again, as of June 17th, Wilson Contreras of the Cubs is catching. Pirates first baseman Josh Bell's at first base. Second base is Braves second baseman Ozzie Albies. Third base is Rockies Nolan Arenado. Shortstop is Cubs Javier Baez. And the outfield, Cody Bellinger of the Dodgers, Christian Yelich of the Brewers, and Ronald Acuna Jr. of the Braves. So not bad so far, I'd say, with the voting. I definitely have a couple different names I was going to use for sure. For mine, a couple, not too many, pretty similar. I was going to vote for, but let's just roll right into this again. I'll check the live chat before I go. Nobody's in the live chat. It's okay. I won't be able to check. We'll check the live chat after I share screen. So let's share screen right now and let's get this show on the road as I cast my ballots for the 2019 All-Star Game. All right, so here's who we got, for on the listing first. Let's do we're going to do first base first. For the American League, there's definitely several people I considered. Jose Abreu, I'd say, is definitely someone I considered. CJ Cron, I considered. Chris Davis, of course. Why the heck is he even still, have a job, Chris Davis? I'm sorry. He doesn't deserve the contract he has at all. Let's see here. Carlos Santana of the Indians, definitely considered him, but I'm going to have to agree with what the voted league is. The leader so far, and that is Yankees first baseman Luke Voit. I think with he's definitely been a blessing in disguise of a replacement for what's his face for Greg Bird, who honestly may never be that star first baseman he's always been predicted to be. But of course, the injuries once again. Luke Voigt, though, had the opportunity to take over, and he's taken the ball and run with it for sure. As the babyface Yankees definitely. Sorry, I didn't mean to switch it there. The babyface Yankees, while they've had almost all their star players injured for a time being, he's really taken charge of that. I think he's really earned a spot, and maybe he'll even be considered for the home run derby. Well, if he wants to be in the home run derby, that is, because of course what that could do in your career. But Luke Voigt is my vote for American League first baseman. For National League first baseman, there's a few people I've considered here. I would definitely love to vote for Pete Alonso of the Mets rookie, who's on pace to hopefully get 40 home runs as a rookie, which would be pretty awesome. He has 24 right now. Freddie Freeman also has having an excellent season again with the Braves. Surprisingly, Paul Goldschmidt really hasn't been done all right, but not as good as he usually does. Reese Hoskins is a great candidate. Hosmer and Muncy, definitely would consider them also. Anthony Rizzo, a little underrated, but Christian Walker also of the Diamondbacks for sure is another great candidate. But I'm sorry, I got to go with my own first baseman, Mr. JB, Josh Bell. Having just an unbelievable year. I know there was a lot of slack on him during the spring training because he didn't do too well in spring training. But of course, he has definitely taken the ball and run with it. This season after a hot May, he was player of the month in 2000. Well, the month for May had a hot May. He's the league leader in RBIs with 66. He has 20 homers. Hopefully at least break the 30 homer mark. I'm hoping he at least hits 35 home runs out of him. If he gets to 40, awesome. We haven't had a 40 homer player since Willie Stargell back in the early to mid 1970s. But I think Josh Bell is definitely trying to make his case for an MVP candidate, but I'm sorry, as of now, there's no way Josh Bell will win the MVP because of two other guys who's definitely duking it out. But Josh Bell is my pick for National League first baseman, and for American League, it's Luke Voigt. So let's go down to the second. I'm sorry, I almost was the second baseman. Second baseman was definitely it was I think for the most part a little bit tough. I'd say at least for the National League it was tough. For the American League, I didn't really see too many names that really appealed to me. I mean, Jose Altuve is not really having as good of a year. He's had some injuries. D. Gordon, I considered also as well. DJ LeMahieu, he's kind of been a little limited, but he's still having a great year. He's hitting .315. Whit Merrifield, I think I was also someone I considered putting down as well. And maybe Jonathan Scope. But, of course, I had to go with this surprise player, Tommy La Stella. First season, I believe, with the Angels. I can't remember for sure. Tommy La Stella used to be, with the Cubs as like a utility player. Never really had any power at all, but he's already producing 15 homers and hitting .295 and driving 41 runs. So I think, he's definitely been a huge surprise this year. And I think he definitely deserves, the spot as a starting second baseman for the American League All Star team. For the National League, now I love Ozzie Albies. Great choice. I also got to give credit to Ketel Marte. Mike Moustakas also is a great candidate as well. Who's the Brewers re-signed him this offseason for a 1-year deal. Of course, last season when he first came over to the Brewers, they moved Travis Shaw to second base, but this time they kept Travis Shaw, who he's not going to get my vote for sure because he's not having a good year. They decided to move Moose to second base, which I would love to give Moose this vote, but I think the guy that I think deserves it that stood out to me for sure is Ketel Marte, if that's how you pronounce his name, 1 to 2. He's been definitely swinging a hot bat as of late as well. What numbers? Yeah, look at 293 average, 20 homers, 50 RBIs. Great fielder, I believe. I think he definitely deserves a spot. So yes, Ozzie Albies is definitely an excellent player. I love the guy, but I got to give it to Ketel Marte. It was to me, it was either between him or Moose because I also love Mike Moustakas. Of course, he's done well adjusting to second base, but I think Ketel Marte just got the vote for me. For third base, to me, for the most part, no brainer. I mean, obviously, we have some good candidates in here. Like people, American League, I've also considered. Matt Chapman was definitely someone who was a finalist. And Vladimir Guerrero Jr. I still can't get over how bad of a season Jose Ramirez is having. 204, 5 homers, 28 RBIs. This guy was killing it and was like an MVP candidate last year. He had 39 homers, something like that. Now look at, oh man, it's a bad year he's having. But I think no doubt about it, an MVP caliber candidate for sure. Alex Bregman, 20 homers, 50 RBIs. Great fielder. I think he definitely, I mean, the average could be up a little bit more, but I think he's definitely a future MVP. But he's my vote for third base. For the American League, for the National League, we've got guys like, Chris Bryant, who got the slow start, but he's been heating it up. Josh Donaldson's having a good bounce back year. Eduardo Escobar is having a great year for the Diamondbacks as well. Give him some credit there. Manny Machado, not too bad of a first year with the Padres so far. Pirates outfielder, of course, Colin Moran. I got to give him some credit. He's done very well this year after, people didn't think he was going to be, getting some playing time because of the return of Jung Ho Gung. But honestly, Colin Moran is definitely the better player right now there. Anthony Rendon, I think, was my second pick. It was I second as far as who I would have picked. Eugenio Suarez, not bad this season also. Again, Anthony Rendon was right behind there, but I got to go with, of course, with my man and another future MVP, guy who was due to win an MVP award sometime. Hopefully will be. He keeps getting this lost in the shuffle. But Nolan Arenado for sure gets my vote. 327 average, 18 homers, 60 RBIs, a Gold Glove third baseman. I got to give it to him for third base. Anybody in the live chat, just take a peek back here real quick. Nope, nobody is. Okay. For shortstop now, for the American League, of course, for the American League for shortstop, they have picked Jorge Polanco. A very good choice. 326, 10 homers, 37 RBIs. I do like him. I would vote for him, but I still kind of have a soft spot for Gleyber Torres. Young talent for the Yankees. 283 average, 16 homers, 40 RBIs. Has a little more power than Polanco. Don't get me wrong. Jorge Polanco has been an excellent part of the story for the Twins. Successful season they're having so far. But I gotta give it to Gleyber Torres. And for the National League, we all got here. Javier Baez for sure. Paul DeJong's having a good year. He's definitely someone else I considered. Corey Seager, not too bad, but still not the MVP numbers I was hoping for out of him. We got Trevor Story, the rookie Fernando Tatis Jr. It was a tough decision. I mean, yes, Javier Baez is definitely, he had an MVP season last year. He's, doing very well this year also. But I still personally like Trevor Story better. I want to pick my boy Trevor Story again. He's, just one of the better power hitting, shortstops for sure in the game. Yes, Javier Baez is also, but last year it was his year. So I think this year it belongs to Trevor Story. That is my pick for shortstop. For catcher, I think for the American League, for the most part, it's a no-brainer. There really isn't much competition other than not really much competition at all. So I think this is easy vote for the power hitting catcher, Gary Sanchez of the Yankees. 266 average, 21 homers, 49 RBIs. I would love him to see him hit 40 homers someday. I think it will happen. Maybe not this year, but we'll see. It still can if he gets hot in the second half. Who knows? But for the National League for catcher, it was between a couple. It really came down between two for me. Well, three. I consider JT Realmuto of the Phillies, 271 average, 10 homers, 36 RBIs. Not a bad year for him. Yasmani Grandal, 273 average, 16 homers, 43 RBIs. But I think I will agree with the leaders currently on this one and give it the Cubs Wilson Contreras for sure. Young catching talent that I definitely I've always been a fan of. I remember at one point that I thought his feeling was a little bit shaky, but it's gotten better for sure. And he's definitely having a great year. So I think Wilson Contreras deserves the catching spot, but I definitely also considered Yasmani Grandal and JT Realmuto. And finally, the outfielders. Of course, we have to pick three. And, two of them were very easy for me to pick for the National League. American League, I had some thought, gave some thought to this one a little bit. Unfortunately, Mookie Betts is not going to make it for me. Byron Buxton, though, is somebody I considered for sure because he's finally having a good year with the Twins. Well, not bad, not flashy, but still a lot better than he has been in previous years. Who else I consider Joey Gallo? He was definitely somebody I also really like as well. Let me see here. Who else? Max Kepler was someone else I considered. Trey Mancini was definitely someone who was one of my finalists. Eddie Rosario, for sure, with the year he's having. Domingo Santana, he's having a great year with the Mariners. I've thought about him also. Jorge Soler, I think, is probably having a power year we've been wanting to see out of him so far, but he's at a 243 average. But yeah. Another honorable mention, and I know he's a leader, but I'm going to sound like a complete hypocrite with this. But I didn't vote for George Springer. I love George Springer, but every time when he's about to have an MVP caliber season on pace for it, he gets injured. And I think he's either starting to rehab or haven't started rehabbing yet. So I don't know health-wise if he will be ready for the All-Star game. So I don't want to vote for him. So obviously, here's my votes going to be. I agree. I'm going to pick two of the people, of course, who's a leader so far for these votes. Mike Trout, obviously having another MVP caliber season, is going to be one of my votes. I will also pick who the other man for the Astros was voted for, and that is Michael Brantley. 321 average, 11 homers, 42 RBIs. Just a great, one of the more underrated hitters in the game for sure that seems to get felt recognition. Now, of course, he's had some injuries the past few years with the Indians, but he's definitely having a great season in his first season in Houston. Who is my final pick, though, for outfield in the American League? Well, I sound like a hypocrite because this guy was briefly injured, but he was part of my hometown team, the Pirates. And I think he's having an excellent, first full season in the big leagues. He's getting the opportunity so far. And even though he briefly was injured, I got to pick this man right here from the Rays. Austin Meadows. 308 average, 12 homers, 38 RBIs. Yes, I hate to say this, but it really is starting to look like the Chris Archer deal was a win for the Rays and a flop for the Pirates because it hasn't really been working out for him with the Pirates. But I'm really happy that Austin Meadows is having a great season so far. Again, I know he was injured, but for like a couple weeks, maybe like 2 or 3 weeks, something, I can't remember how long it was. But I know it sounds like a hypocrite since, I don't want to vote for George Springer, but more so because I don't know if Springer's going to be ready. But I've always been excited to see Austin Meadows play in the big leagues, and I think he definitely deserves recognition, which is why he's got my vote. Him, Mike Trout, and Michael Brantley got my votes for the All-Star, for the American League outfield, for the All-Stars. Now, National League, no brainer off the back, who I want to vote for this. Well, two at least. Cody Bellinger, obviously, 355, 23 homers, 58 RBIs, MVP numbers. And, of course, the other person is the reigning, defending, undisputed National League MVP, Mr. Christian Yelich. 345, 27 homers, 58 RBIs. My goodness, this guy is a machine. And again, the thing is, he is not the biggest guy out there. He's like my size, like 6'1", no, like 6'3", maybe like 195 pounds, something like that. Doesn't look like like the strongest man out there, but this guy is just, it's really clicking with him ever since he came over to the Brewers. I mean, with the Marlins, he was great, but he's a legend with the Brewers right now, and he's putting up some great numbers. Now, for my final pick for who I think should be in the National League outfield, it really came down to between two. There's a couple honorable mentions I want to definitely mention. Juan Soto of the Nationals, 296, 11 homers, 42 RBIs, was injured briefly, though, so that's why I didn't vote for him. I mean, Kyle Schwarber, of course, he's down an average 237, but he's 16 homers, so I got to say he's still a big fan of his. I do like these power outfielders for the Padres. Hunter Renfroe and Franmil Reyes, for sure. They're definitely finalists for me. Who else was I considering? Jock Peterson, if his average is a little higher, I'd say yes. Same with Marcell Ozuna. rolling up here. Of course, Andrew McCutcheon's out for us this year with a torn ACL. Not bad year for Starling Marte. Gotta give him a little bit of love as well for my outfield. Adam Jones is having a great year with his first year with the Diamondbacks, so I gotta give him the rub there. Of course, two overrated guys I still feel, Jason Hayward and Bryce Harper. Overrated, sorry. It's true, though. A couple, is there a name? Michael Conforto I considered also. Oh, definitely not Ryan Braun. We all know how much I can't stand Ryan Braun. So my final spot came down to between two. Very tough for me to decide this one. Ronald Acuna Jr., 293, 17 homers, 49 RBIs. We also have Charlie Blackmon hitting 341 with 16 home runs and 47 RBIs. I really wanted to go with Charlie Blackmon, but I think I will agree with the concurrent leaders and give it to Ronald Acuna Jr., who is obviously, him and Freddie Freeman are leading that offense for the Braves, as they're having another fantastic year. Again, with a team that has a bunch of young talent and some veterans mixed in together to put together just a solid team, and they're leading the National League East because of it. So although Charlie Blackmon, I think I number-wise, you want to give it to him. I think the impact that Ronald Acuna Jr. has had on this amazing Braves team, I think he deserves that spot, and he is my pick for the National League outfield. The last thing we vote for is the designated hitter from the American League. There's a couple names for sure. Nelson Cruz, Chris Davis. Let me see here. Justin Luplos is a designated hitter for the Indians. He used to be a Pirate. JD Martinez, Shohei Ohtani just came back from injury. He's already been on a tear so far with a 277 average, 9 homers, 30 RBIs. Hunter Pence, 294 average, 15 homers, 48 RBIs, having a comeback season. Poor Giancarlo Stanton just came off the DL, but hasn't played since March 31st. A 167 average, no homers, RBIs so far. Jeez, that sucks for him because he's still probably my favorite player right now, active player at least. And, of course, there's a Daniel Vogelbach for the Mariners, who I think should be in the home run derby. But as far as who I picked, it came down to two. Now, the person I'm not going to vote for, though, that he was definitely in my in second place in my rankings, is JD Martinez. I love myself, Mr. Just Dingers Martinez. 291 average, 16 homers, 41 RBIs. He definitely deserves it. I definitely would vote for him. But I have a soft spot for someone else that I mentioned before. He's having kind of like a comeback season. I really didn't think he was going to be that big of a deal after he left the Giants. But ever since he started on the DL, I believe, but of course, ever since he's come off, he's been just on fire, having a great season with the Rangers. And that's why I want to give my American League designated hitter vote to Mr. Hunter Pence. And yep, that's my vote. So let's go over who I voted for my ballot. For first base for the American League, it's Luke Voit. For the National League, it's Josh Bell. Second base, American League, Tommy La Stella. National League is Ketel Marte. Third base for the American League, Alex Bregman. National League, it's Nolan Arenado. Shortstops for the American League is Gleyber Torres and Trevor Story. Catchers, Gary Sanchez and Wilson Contreras. Outfielders, the American League, Michael Brantley, Austin Meadows, Mike Trout. For the National League, Ronald Acuna Jr., Cody Bellinger, and Christian Yelich. And my designated hitter is Hunter Pence. I will hit review and submit. And, of course, there's just showing the selections once again. And, of course, I will fill that out, but I will wait until, of course, after we go off the air, of course, here. Because I don't want you guys to see some of my information, but But guys, hope you enjoyed this little ballot, stream of me showing who I vote for the All Star game. I'm going to try to do this, more often. And the other streams, of course, I keep saying to do for baseball, which I've done some more this year. So definitely just something to do. But thank you guys for tuning in live. Who are your votes, and who would you vote for the MLB 2019 All-Star Game? Leave thoughts down in the comment section below. Make sure always to slap a like on my video, subscribe or comment on my channel, follow me on Twitter as well at DemandAir93. With that, guys, I am checking out. I will see you guys all tomorrow for my WB Top 10 special live stream on my top 10 NXT storylines of all time. So until then, guys, I'm out of here. I'm going to be uploading my Harry Potter part 16 in just a second here as well, so stay tuned for that. And I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Peace out, everybody.